Good morning, dear students. Welcome to Alfu's e-learning classes. This is Kasturi Shivaprasad, who is going to represent you economics classes. Now, we will see the economics first year, unit 3. The lesson name is demand analysis. Till the last period, we have completed different types of demands. What is the meaning of demand? And how the demand is influenced by different variables. The variables like price, income, and prices of substitutes and complementaries. So anything that can influence another thing can be called as variable. Okay, the variables which are seen in the types of demand are price, income, and prices of substitutes, prices of complements. Till in the last period, we have studied those variables, different variables. Now, we are going to see a very important topic, a real important topic. This is going to help you in the coming future plenty of ways. Particularly when you become a manager or a owner of a industry, when you are running a production unit, this is a very useful thing for you to take the decisions. Whether to increase the production, whether to decrease the production, whether to increase the price or decrease the price. Everything depends on this elasticity of demand. In our demand analysis lesson, we are going to discuss about elasticity of demand. Now you may be getting it out. What is this elasticity of demand? This is elastic. When you put a little bit pressure, it stretches. Elastic means which changes. Elastic means change. Elastic means change. Inelastic. The second word is inelastic. No change. Whatever the pressure you put, there is no change. Is there any change? No change. It will not change because it is inelastic. Elastic, inelastic. Elastic means which changes. Inelastic means which does not change. So in fact, here we are going to study a particular concept of elasticity of demand. Elasticity of demand. In fact, every commodity does not respond in the same manner with the price. Sometimes quantity demanded will change according to the price, equal to the price. Sometimes it will be greater than the change in the price. Quantity demanded changing greater than the change in the price. Sometimes there is no change in the price, but quantity demanded goes on increasing. Sometimes whether price increase or decrease, quantity demanded does not change. It always depends on different times, place, persons, commodities. With this we can see how these different commodities are affected by different prices. Some commodities are very sensitive. Whether there is a little bit change in the price, demand will increase or decrease. And some commodities are too different. Whether there is any change in the price or not, either demand increases or decreases. And some commodities respond in a different way, like price changes little but the demand changes greater. Sometimes price changes greater, demand changes smaller. These are all different concepts we are going to learn in this intermediate stage. This elasticity of demand actually introduces you a simple concept which you are going to use in graduation. Particularly in the first year economics, you will see business economics. After that, in MBA or MCOM, you will see managerial economics. These different parts will teach you in different levels. Here, you are going to learn what is actually meant by elasticity of demand, and you are going to learn how this elasticity of demand is going to give impact on day-to-day life. and particularly for production purpose, for price fixation purpose, how it is going to be helpful to the finance minister, to a producer, to a common man like you and me. Whenever the budget comes, in March and April, they will introduce the budget. That time, for some commodities, tax increases, for some commodities, tax decreases. Why does they do that type of practices? Those all things we are going to learn in demand elasticity or elasticity of demand. See, in this one, we are going to be taught all those different concepts of demand step by step. How to apply them will come in your graduation and PG levels. But here at inter level, you will know all the analysis of demand. Already you have seen the meaning, you have seen the originating, how it will be understood, and what types of demand. We have seen all of them. Here we will see elasticity of demand. So in simple language, elasticity of demand will be shown with the help of mathematical equation: percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. Again, percentage change in demand in response to percentage change in price. If both are same, percentage change in price and percentage change in demand are same, then it is called unitary elasticity of demand. If prices changes less and demand changes more, then it is relatively elastic demand, means relatively change in the demand. If price change is more and demand change is less, relatively inelastic demand. Relatively inelastic demand. See here, inelastic means relatively no change. Elastic means change. Inelastic means no change. Say, as I say, you also repeat it. Memorize it. Whenever you are coming across this word, elastic means change. Inelastic means no change. Like I told you, marginal, additional. Do you remember? Whenever I say marginal, you have to say additional. In the same way, whenever I say elastic, you have to say change. And when I say inelastic, no change. Now, let us come to the next part of it, that is perfectly elastic demand. Before that, we will see how this elasticity is going to be influenced by different variables. What are the influencing variables on demand? There are three things which influence the demand. What are those three variables? One is price, second is income, third is relative goods prices. What are those relative goods? Substitutes and complementaries. So these relative goods prices also influence the demand. That we are going to see step by step. So we will see those are three types of elasticities. In the coming future we will discuss about this. Okay. Today we will deeply discuss about price elasticity. How price influences elasticity of demand, means how price influences change in demand. You got it? Elasticity of demand, change in the demand. So price. Second, some other day we will discuss how income change the demand, how income influence changes in the demand. Income elasticity. Cross elasticity. Cross means relative goods. How relative goods change the quantity of demand. That we will discuss on cross elasticity, but in the future classes. Today we are going to discuss alone about price elasticity of demand, how the price is going to influence the quantity demanded. See, all commodities does not respond in the same manner to the change in the price. Some respond more, some respond less, some respond equal. You are also watching certain commodities we cannot avoid utilization of them. Whether the price increase or decrease, we have to use the same quantity. For those commodities, elasticity is 0. But some commodities, without any change in the price, goes on increasing and decreasing of demand. For example, I can give you the best example. If you remember, these CDs, compact disc, DVDs, those when introduced into the market, the price was around 50 rupees. Then it decreased to 10 rupees. Without any change in the price, demand for those DVDs started increasing multiples like 10, 20, 100, 1,000, lakhs, because more people started acting towards computers. More people act towards computers, the more DVDs have been sold in the market, even though the price change was not there. The same price, that is around 15 rupees one DVD, but the demand goes on increasing without any change in the price. Now, sometimes some commodities without change in the price goes on increasing their demand. Particularly, see, at a particular period of time, I told you, this elasticity of demand is not always the same with all commodities, all times, all periods, all seasons, with all persons. For example, whether price increase or decrease, demand for a pen, particularly in exam season, increases. Particularly in June every year, not this corona year, every year June, demand for pens increases in the June. Why? All the students starts going to the college. All of a sudden, without any change in the price, demand for pens increases. And what else? School bags. Whether there is a change in the price or not, demand for the school bags increases. For notebooks, demand increases, even though there is no change in the price. What it shows? It shows simply some commodities in some seasons, whether there is any change in the price or not, percentage of change in the demand will be seen. That we are going to see in detail. Okay? Perfectly elastic demand is generally represented by alpha. Okay? Infinite, without any control, all of a sudden increasing without any change in the price. There is no change in the price, but percentage of change in the quantity demanded goes increasing or decreasing. Now this is the point. Increases, it may even decreases. See, all of a sudden DVD's demand all of a sudden disappeared because a new product entered into the market. What was that new product? Pen drives. When we started getting that pen drive, automatically demand for DVDs disappeared. Without any change in the price, demand for DVDs disappeared. So that we are going to watch today. It may increase or it may decrease without any change in the price. Here I am going to show you the graph with this. The graphical change here, let us say the change in the price. And for that change in the price and change in the quantity demanded, we need to first understand the prices. Basic price is equal to, let us say, 10 rupees, basic price, and basic demand was 100. Okay, but without any change in the price is same, there is no change is 0, but all of a sudden it is 20, means 120, it gone to 120. See, there is no change in the price is same 10 rupees, but demand for the commodities all of a sudden increased to 120, means change is how much? 20. Change in the price is 0, but change in the demand is 20. It may even happen inverse, change in the price is nothing, but all of a sudden demand may goes to 80, means how much demand changed? 20. Instead of increasing, it may even decrease. In both the cases, the change of the price is 0. There is no change in the price, but there is a change in the demand, may increasing or may decreasing. It may increase or it may decrease without any change in the price. This is called as perfect elasticity. What it is called? Perfect elasticity or infinite elasticity. Okay, or total elasticity. In each and every case, it represents the same thing: perfect elasticity, total elasticity, or infinite elasticity. Even though there is no change in the price, delta refers to the change. There is a change in the demand. The change in the demand is gone to 20. It may increase or it may decrease. So here you can see there is no change in the price, but demand may increase or may decrease. This is the E. This is the demand. It may increase to E2, that is demand for D2, or it may decrease to E1, that is demand for D1. It may decrease or it may increase without any change in the price. Hope you did understood it clearly. This is what? Perfectly elastic. There are 5 types: perfectly elastic, relative elastic, unit elastic, relative inelastic, zero elastic. This is the first one we have come through. Perfect elastic demand. In the perfect elastic demand, even though there is no change in the price, okay, there is no change in the price, but change in the demand will occur. It may increase or it may decrease. I am showing here for an example 20%. It may be 30%, 40% or 5% or 10%, but there is no change in the price. Hope it is clear for you people. Now we will see the second one. According to the textbook, we will go with zero elasticity. What is meant by zero elasticity? Even though there is a lot of change in the price, there is no change in the demand. Price increase or decrease, demand is going to be the same. Neither it increases nor it decreases. It will be stable. You may be thinking, where and when it will happen? Let me give you some examples. You take the salt. If the price of the salt decreased from 20 rupees kg to 10 rupees kg, do we use more salt in our cooking? Does mama put instead of 2 spoons of salt, 4 spoons of salt in the curry? No. If she do that, you will get high BPs. So she is not going to do such sort of things. She has to take care of your health. So whether salt price increase or decrease, she uses only those 2 spoons full of salt in the curry, according to the quantity, of course. If she put more, the taste will be spoiled. If she put less, taste will be spoiled. So that's why 20 rupees salt goes to 30 rupees or 20 rupees salt goes to 10 rupees. Still, she uses same salt, same quantity in the cooking purpose. That is called zero elastic. For electronic goods, without any change in the price, it may increase or it may decrease. But for commodities which we use in daily life, particularly the commodities which prices are very low, very cheap, those commodities, whether price changes, increases or decreases, demand for those commodities will be the same. Okay, now let me show you that graph. Second one is zero or perfect inelastic. Inelastic. Inelastic demand. The graph will be something like this. See here, zero elastic. Price may increase to P2, demand is same. Price may decrease to P1, demand is same. It increases from P to P2, demand is going to be the same. If it goes from P to P1, the demand is going to be the same. This is called zero elastic or perfect inelastic. Zero elastic, there is no change. Elastic means change, there is no change. Or perfectly inelastic means perfectly no change. Perfectly no change. This we will see at two different levels. One is without any change, there is a change in the demand. Without any change in the price, there is change in the demand. With lot of change in the prices, there is no change in the demand. These are two levels. Now we will go to the third one, that is unitary elastic. So here for zero elastic, we generally put ED equals to 0. For this, ED equals to infinite. For here, ED equals to 1. Exactly whatever the change happens in the price, the same change happens in the demand. If price changes by 20%, demand changes by 20%. If price increases by 20%, demand decreases by 20%. If price decreases by 20%, demand increases by 20%. Changes will be as it is. Delta P is equal to delta Q. There won't be any difference. The graph will be like this. This is the demand curve. Here P, P1, D, D, D1. When price was P, demand was D, exactly 20%. When price increased to P1, demand decreased to D1. The difference delta P equals to delta Q. Whatever the change happens in the price, the same change happens in the demand of quantity. This is called unitary elasticity or unit elasticity. The change will be equal to the change in the price. Quantity demanded will change equal to the quantity, the change in the price. So they both are changing the equal levels. That's why we say unitary elasticity. 1:1. If price changes by 10%, demand changes by 10%. If that changes by 100%, this changes by 100%. Okay, if price decreases from P1 to P, then demand increases from D1 to D. If price increases from P to P1, demand decreases from D to D1. But unitary level, equal level. Now we will see the fourth one, that is relatively elastic. Elastic demand. Relatively elastic demand means what? The change in the demand will be greater than the change in the price. Price changes little, demand changes more. If price and demand are equal, price changes little, demand changes more. Means whether increasing or decreasing, greater than the price. Demand change is going to be greater than the price. Means ED greater than the price 1. If this changed by 10%, then that changes by 20%. Whether increasing or decreasing. That we are going to watch now in this graph. In this graph, you will find that quantity demanded is going to be changed greater than the price. the change in the price is less than change in the demand. Relatively elastic demand, relatively more change in the demand. Price change is 10%, but demand change is more than 10%. In contrary, if price increases from P1 to P, demand changes from D1 to D, the change is greater. If price decreases from P to P1, demand increases from D to D1. Whatever happens, the change in the demand is greater than the price. Elasticity of demand is greater than 1. If this is 20%, this is going to be 40% or greater than that. Okay, with this we have seen 4 types of elasticities. First one is perfectly elastic. Second one is perfectly inelastic or zero elastic or perfectly inelastic. Third one we have seen unitary elastic, that whatever the change happens in the price, the same change in the demand. Fourth one is relatively elastic. How much ever the price changes, demand change is going to be greater than the price change. Now we will see the fifth one. For that, let me erase this part. So this is going to be relatively inelastic. What is the fifth one? Relatively inelastic. Inelastic demand. What happens in this one? Elasticity of demand is going to be less than 1. Means if price changes by 20%, demand changes by only 5%. If price changes by 20%, demand changes by only 5%. Means the responding towards the price is less than the equal. Here we said unitary, equal. Change in the price is not going to influence change in the demand much. That's why demand change will be less than the price change. Always, whenever demand changes less than the price, then we will call relatively inelastic. I told you, inelastic means no change. Relatively no change. It changes, but a little bit. Okay, that we are going to watch here graphically. So here we will watch change in the price is greater, but change in the demand is less. In this one, very clearly we can watch the change in the demand is less than the change in price. Change in the price is greater, change in the demand is less. Here see, relatively elastic, change in the price is greater, so lesser. Small change in the price created large change in the demand. Here, more change in the price created less change in the demand. So this is called relatively inelastic demand. So ED is less than 1. Now again let us start. ED, infinitive. That is, without any change in the price, demand may increase or demand may decrease. This is perfect inelastic. That is, with a lot of change in the price, there is no change in the demand. Next we have seen unitary elastic. Equal change in the price and quantity demanded. The same is going to be there. Okay. Next we have seen relatively elastic. Little change in the price causing a lot of change in the demand. And last we have seen lot of change in the price causing little change in the demand. With this, we can come to a conclusion that elasticity of demand is not going to be the same particularly price elasticity, we will see at 5 levels. Those are the 5 levels we need to understand and we have to apply in our day-to-day life, particularly in business people, in the business, for the finance minister or in the taxation, everywhere we are going to apply this one. So here again I tell you, elastic, change. Inelastic, no change. So demand change in response to the price change we are going to discuss here. All the time we will say that ED is equal to percentage change in the demand, quantity demanded by percentage change in the price. That will be the calculation. Okay, with this elasticity of demand we will conclude. Tomorrow we will see the importance and the things which influences elasticity of demand. Okay.